to show you my beast of a machine, my wire stripper. So most people, your average person, will hack away at these wires like a drug-fueled samurai. And nothing will actually come of it. It'll just probably end up breaking your wrist or something, you know. So this thing here is a very nice investment, because what it does, you feed the wire through there, and there's actually a blade. So the blade actually cuts it as it goes through, and there's rollers as well, so it feeds it. And you can see the unfortunate remnants of the past wires. 3 different types of wire you can find, probably more than this as well, but just the average garden variety wire. First, you'll have your construction wire. That's your construction wire there. This is very nice because it cuts very easily. So it just cuts nicely down the middle, and I can give you a demonstration of all this today. And this is like a higher phase wire. There we go. Finally. So you can see that. Nice bit of copper in there. It's a bit thicker, and that comes off a bigger wire. I think this came off a big orange power cable. And you can find them as well, but they're very expensive. I'll put a picture in as well. I'll show you. I bought one of these as well. It's you have to buy it for the right price though. So yeah. Okay. And now you got your basic power wire that they put in for the earths and stuff. So it's just 2 core. The one I had was 5 core, and it was huge. But these are nice. Someone just chucked this in a skip. They're just chucking away profit there. It's the average person. They'll try and strip it and sell it as is. But as you all know, you're only getting $1 per kilo for, you know, your wire. Whereas we're stripping it, we're going to get the full benefit. So what I do with my setup, so I've got mine there. So there's the orange power cable, your construction and your higher gauge. So basically what I do, I organise it into bags. So this is my type 2. So just a big bag of that. And then I've got my type 1, not as much, as you can see. And then I've got my Milbury. Milbury you don't really find in wire, but I mean you can, but not very often. Very small wire that you'll find it. That's my Milbury. And you can get them in bales, like massive hay bales of profit. So I've got an organisation like that. And just for on your desk as well, or like wherever you're doing this, just have some jars, because I've got like, see, I've got a jar of clean brass, dirty brass, and that's type 2 copper. That's Milbury. And that stuff I'm going to process, but it's good because it, you know, keeps your work surface looking good. And then I've got a little pot of stuff I've got to like break down and just try and get some copper out of. And yeah, you're not going to get a lot of copper out of that, I know that, but you've got a bit of extra time, go for it. Recycling, way forward. These are the tools that I use. These are tin snips, and they're bloody lovely. They'll cut through any wire, basically. These as well, they'll pull out any wire. First thing we're operating this machine, what you want to do, you're going to make sure it's plugged in, which it is, by the wire for you, so it's good to keep it on. What you want to do, you get the end of this, yep, and then try and feed it through. See, so it seems to fit. See there now, yeah? So that's in. And I click the on button, starts to feed. So you can see the blade actually cutting right there, see? It's beautiful. And then, you know, I'll just turn it off. So what we're left with after is this. See, strips the wire nicely. So yeah, you take this out of the casing like that. So you see that there. So we take all the casing away. I mean, it's easy with 2 hands. I've got to get a GoPro. But yeah, so we'll just take that away. And we're left with these. Looks a bit similar to that. Probably use the same gauge as well. Probably a bit bigger. And you've got this. And what most people don't know is most gauges of wire, the weight drops by about 55%. I've done a lot of wire, and that's usually what you get with this. You lose about 55% of the wire weight. So that's why a lot of scrappers only do higher gauge wire, because it's worth it. And I'm starting to get like that as well, you know. Like most of the smaller wire, I just chuck in a bucket, you know. So now you might be asking yourself, we strip this, so how do we get the copper? Okay, now what we do, I'll just get one to show you. So, you see that it's not gonna hit. So what we have to do, we have to adjust the machine for this. So you adjust it like that. To twist it, you can actually adjust the nut there, and it actually comes down and holds it in place. But at the moment I need it a bit looser, so we're just going to bring this down a bit more. That's coming down. And not many people have actually, I don't think anyone's actually done a review of this machine, but I think they're brilliant. More than paid for itself 5 times over. You see that, that's going to go nicely through now. I like to get the gap quite tight because it just strips it nicely. Now watch this. Do you hear that? It's cutting nicely through it now. Sometimes you have to keep it level because it does come off. Okay, so that happens. So see, it'll come out the back there, and you can see here it sort of splinters a bit. So we've got splinters of copper wire. So maybe sometimes it's good to have it tight, or at times it's good to loosen it a bit because some of the wire can be quite brittle and fragile. So what I do, if I put it back through, yeah, that's better now. It's not chewing into the wire, but it's just cutting it nicely. Don't want to lose half the wire in the process though. Okay, so it's hanging out now. It has been destroyed. To show you, just turn this machine off. So yeah, that's where I chewed it up maybe a bit too much. There's some way you have to decide the angle that you put it on, whether it's going to chew through the wire or whether it's going to be okay. It's just experimentation really. Yeah, as you can see here, so splintered a bit there, but what we really want, we want what's happened up here. Casing is just cut open a little bit, and you can just easily pull it out with your fingers, or you know, a handy plier. So yeah, that's what you'll end up with. So I'm just going to strip the wire, and I'll show you before and after this wire. We're back. The wire is naked. It's beautiful, lovely and shiny. So that's what it used to look like. This is now what it looks like. So nice and stripped. But that's why I have these little pieces around. That's why I have these jars, because you can just pick them off the worktop and you're not losing any profit. Adds up very slowly, but you know, I don't like chucking copper away. It just feels wrong. Feels wrong to my gypsy DNA. This is the higher core wire. So you might be asking yourself, what happens, you know, with the smaller stuff? I'll just give you a demonstration. I'm just going to pop this beautiful wire down here for a sec. And I will show you how to roll that up as well. Now you might be asking, like, how do the big guys do it? And they've got machines and they just chuck it into, like, it's like a bin machine. They chuck it in and it comes out like that, but we have to feed it through. But these are a lot better than hand crank ones, because otherwise you're going to have wrists like a 99-year-old. And doing it by hand, I'd rather go get a day job, you know. And that's saying something. I'll just give you a quick demonstration of some of the smaller stuff. It's just a small length. I just want to show you. So, you see that there? Fits nicely and snug. I don't really have to adjust it because it was on a tight setting. So watch it feeding through. It even cuts through any tape that's stuck on. But what you can, you have to look on the thing itself, and if you can't see any marks, it does sometimes happen like that, so you might have to put it back through just to see. I have to hold it sometimes with my hand, hold it taut, so like that, let it go. And it's hard to see, but there should be some marks. See, it has cut through, but what we have to do sometimes is use the pliers, or you know, if it's not cutting too deep, we get this, tighten it, bring it down lower. This comes down lower then. So put it in, cuts through, it is cutting. So now, look, we've got a much better result there. See, actually just comes over and I can open that with my finger. So, left with this, just 3 nice little wires. They are quite small. So I mean, the best way to do it, you'll strip these, but what I do, I put these into piles. I strip all the coats. So see all the wires there, I strip the outer wire first, and then I'm left with these, and I put them in piles of sizes. You know, so something like that, there's the same gauge. This is a smaller gauge. So I put the smaller gauges with the smaller, and the medium with the medium, larger with the larger, obviously. and then I strip them. And the good thing is you'll only have to adjust this machine 3 times if you do that. Whereas if you do one, strip it all, strip one off, it's not efficient. Put it in piles and strip it one at a time. Make sure you got your tin snips and this. So now what I'll do, I'm just going to do all these and I'll show you the after effect, and then we can weigh it. You know, it's a small box, so I got most of this out of a skiff from building sites. I'll let you know how much I get once I've done it. Back again. So I'll just give you like a quick tour about what I do. So I have a pile for all my discarded stuff right there, see? And like I said, I organise it, so I've got sort of medium wires there, medium gauge wires all in one pile. Big thick buggers that are going to give us the most money there. And now for the stuff we need to strip. But just a quick tip on the building site, you find some wire, try and strip it out of the case, and if it's poking through, because this stuff is a lot better just to strip with, because you don't have to put it through the machine once. If it's got other casing, you have to do it twice, but it's not always the way, but you can find it. So this is the thick stuff in one pile, just there. Medium stuff in that pile. Longer strip lengths that are a bit shorter, skinnier, and those are just short lengths. And there's tiny lengths here, and there's mini lengths, which I just put in a little pot. Sometimes if I feel like it, I strip them, but most of the time I'll just chuck them in there. Now you can be selective on what you strip and how much time you spend. Depends how I'm feeling. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I just chuck it in my wire bucket. So now I'm just going to go ahead and just, you know, give it a strip. I needed a coffee. And you can see how much coffee I drink, but it comes in handy because you've always got some storage to put things. And I put those pieces of copper that came off just in there as well. So you can see that's my little system. You can come up with different ones, but this is what I do. I've got all my tools in a little bucket over there. I'm just going to strip all this and I'll show you what I've done after, and we can use these bad boys over there to weigh it, and I'll see how much profit we'd make from just a small bot. Maybe, you know, a month of just casually looking for like wire. I wasn't really going out my way to look for it. I was just finding it when I was walking around. So if you're really looking, I could probably get a box double the size of this. But I mean, you're driving around, you'll be able to find loads of it, so have a look. Okay guys, so we're going to do the weighing now with this beast. I've got my type 1 in that basket. It was really full with this. Just poured it in there. Type 2. There's not a lot at all. And this is a good thing about getting scrap wire from building sites that they chuck in the skip. They get extra space. And most of it is just type 1, all the good stuff that we're looking for. I'll just put it on. There you go. Right on there. So 2.95. So this basket's about a kilo, I'd say. Probably half a kilo maybe. So I'm saying half a kilo off that. So 2.5-ish, thereabouts. So we get about $6.80 for this. So you're looking at about $14.50, maybe a bit less. Just for that. It's not bad for 3 hours. I mean, I don't mind. I play Spotify and jam out while I'm doing it, so it doesn't feel like work for me. And you guys can do the same as well. You see the discoloration as well, like I've been talking to you about. You try and pass that off at type 1, they're not going to accept that. So 0.7. 0.7 once you take away the weight of the basket. And you'll see if you go to a scrapyard, they'll take this weight away. And on the receipt sometimes you'll see something and it says weight and tear. Tear, which is T-A-R-E, tear. Tear means how much the weighing baskets and stuff weigh. You take that into consideration. So the tear on this would be 0.5 because that's how much the basket weighs. The profit is 0.7 there. So 0.7, you get about $4.20, $4.20 blazing. So now what I want to do, I'm going to put these bags together, and just bear in mind, I wasn't going out my way to look for this. So I was just walking the dog, or I'd found it in a random skip and I'd walked past. I had a month where I tried to do this really seriously, and I could make like $200 a month Australian easily. Just looking around and asking builders if they need the wire, because a lot of builders are happy for you to take it because it's at the skip for them. But I mean, this I really am not trying at the moment to collect it. It's just getting it passively. So I'm just studying as well, so studying marketing and doing this just casually at the moment. But once uni's up, I'll go back to the full-time stuff. Let's do a weigh-in for just insanely casual type 1 and type 2 collection, if you're just collecting it walking around. All right, I'll just set up everything. Okay, so I've got it in the bags now. I'll just show you that. So that's type 1, all the coloured stuff, just components and stuff from these jars. When I break it down, that's all in there. Not gone up too much, whereas it's type 1, the good stuff, it's gone up massively. So there's a few little bits in there before. Now it's gone up a bit. Each of these bags, these canvas bags, you'll see, you have to get about 10 kilos in each. So current prices, that's $62 for type 2 and $68 Australian for type 1. So let's just do the weighing. Type 1. Canvas bag anywhere is about 0.25, so that's about $15 thereabouts. But that wasn't too much to begin with anyway, so about $12 thereabouts. That's about $27 there, so it's alright. I mean, I'm not trying too hard, but I mean, wire's good. It's just a passive income earner. I do go for pipe though. I buy pipe off people, but I can do a video about that later on. This is a good way, and it's all the stuff that's left over. So if you like the video, subscribe and make sure you click the notification tab to get my videos. Give us any recommendations as well, or make comment. I've got a few good ideas for some videos in the future anyway. I'll make you guys some money with some scrap.